Thank you so very much and welcome again to another session of SQL. We'll continue with where we stopped off from the last time and then see what we can cover today. Right, so before we started the thing, we open this to get into our workbench. I think the last time we did the various syntax for SSMS, MySQL, and then Oracle, where we restrict the number of rows. Is that correct?
No, I don't
Yes.
think so.
Yes.
Okay, somebody said no. What can you
I think this is first time I'm hearing that.
were you here 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, when we did, we were able to put in the adventure work and all those things. That was the last time.
I haven't done Adventure Works with you.
We install it, or
I didn't do Adventure Works database with you. You may have done it with Mr. Ebenezer.
I think that's for
That's for
Tableau or
Power
something.
BI.
under the database.
That's for Power BI, isn't it?
Tableau, I think.
Okay.
We did that under Power BI.
Okay.
We're talking now about SQL. Is this the first time you are attending an SQL class?
I think this is the second time.
All right. Okay. So catch up. Find a way of finding out where we stopped the last time. Okay, and get the notes for that. And then if you have any issues, you can let me know.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm going to go on straight away with. I'm not going to waste much time with the third type of select query. I'm going to go on straight on to that. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
we can.
Right. So the word distinct. Let's see how that works. And what does it mean? Let me change my database to let me see what I have here. Okay, so I have what I need. Let's assume we run this query, okay? Let's assume we run this query. If we run this query, what do we have? We have everything under the training database. Under the trading table, we have everything. Okay. Now, however, if you look carefully at this, you would see that there are a whole number of repetitions for certain attributes. If you look at the attributes role, you see that we have training ID, person ID, course ID, trainer ID, course dates, course start date, and course end date. And then you would also note that for training ID, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to what? Okay, that goes, okay. But look at course ID. You would see that certain numbers are repeated. Why is that so? Okay, assuming, for example, that we say we should select from this same query that we have, assuming the only attribute we are looking for, is course ID. We want the course ID to see, for example, the number of courses that is offered by the training facilitator, or by the college, or by the school, right? We want to find the number of courses. If we do that, you will see that it gives us as many rows as we had in the first query. 327. This also gives us 327. Exactly the same. Does it mean that there are 327 courses? So in a school, for example, or even in this particular training program that you guys are on, in this very session, in this very, let me see what we have. Oh, I can't see it, I think, because I'm sharing screen. Let me see, can I see? No, I can't see, but can somebody tell me how many people we have on this training, on our training session here tonight?
22.
How many?
22.
22. Okay. Assuming I put a course against each of the names of the persons on this training program, does it mean that we are having 22 separate courses?
No, just only
No.
one.
Just only one. But you would see that if we were to run a query like this, on even what we are doing now, we would have the output will be 22. Because the same course will be written against each of your names. So that does not give us a good indication of the number of courses offered, for example, by BlueSky. Right? And that is where, when there are repetitions, the word distinct comes in. So if, for example, I were to write this again as that, distinct. If I were to write this again as that, what happens now? Do you see what has happened? It has given us exactly the courses that are offered by the institution. And it does happen that there are 7 courses offered. But in the previous query that we run, we had 327 roles being the output. But we have only 7 courses being offered. So that should tell you that courses have been written. The same course would have been written against different names many times. But that's not what we are interested in. We are only interested in the courses that are offered. So assuming I was to ask you a question, how many courses are offered by BlueSky? You wouldn't be running a query on the total population of BlueSky. Your query will be focused on what? The specific courses that are offered by BlueSky. And you can only do that by using the word distinct. Because without the word distinct in this query, then the various courses against each name would be produced as an output. Is that clear? Is that clear? Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Right, so this is one. Let's go on. Let's make progress. So the 4th type of query we'll be doing, we'll be using calculations. Calculated. Did I send you the pay elements table? Do you have the pay elements table in your database?
No,
I
sir.
think
We
you,
don't
I
have
think
the
you have.
data.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we have.
Okay. So that's obviously if we're going to calculate things, then we should have numbers, right? We should have numbers or figures to do calculations on. So we can use SQL to do calculations, and that's what we're going to look at. So if, for example, we write this query, it gives us all of this. Where do we have the pay elements? Where do we have pay? Where do we have things talking about pay? We have pay from pay value, and we have the type of pay. And then we can also say we also have pay ID, payment ID. Right. So let's see if we can narrow this down a bit. If, for example, we say instead of taking everything, let's just take out what we need. Let's just take out what we need from this query. What do we need? Let's say we need pay element ID. And we need person ID because we have to assign a person to each payment we make, right? We can't be paying ghosts, can we? And then we also want the pay value, the amounts that we pay them. Right? Let's just restrict ourselves to these three things for now. 1, 2, and 3. These are the things we are looking to get now. If we execute this, this is what we have. We see the payment for each person. Right. Now, assuming I ask you, now look at this, look at the first person, for example. How much does the first person earn? How much does the first person earn?
5,000.
Pardon?
5,000.
How much?
55.
55,000. Do
55,000.
you think this is okay? Do you think this is salary or hourly pay? And look at, okay, let's, before that question, look at what the ninth person earns. How much is that?
10.
This is 10.4 or something.
Okay, so that's 10 points. So you see that there is quite a huge variance. Right. Do you think the first one is salary or hourly?
I think it should be salary. It should be salary.
I think I agree with you.
salary.
The first one should be salary, right? And the
Yes.
second one is probably hourly pay,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's, in fact, that's actually the case. That's actually the case. But forget about all of that for now. Forget about it for now. Don't look at that for now. Assuming that they are all the same kind of payment. Forget about whether they are salary or hourly. If I were to ask you and assume that each thing here is salary, yearly salary, assume each is yearly salary. If I were to ask you to find the monthly salary, what will you do?
Divide pay value by 12. I think.
Beautiful. So let's assume pay value is yearly salary. Salary. Find monthly pay. Divide pay value by 12. So that's just what we do. So again, let's select all of this. And we add one more, which is pay value divided by 12. Okay, pay value divided by 12. This is something we have just added. It's not within the attributes on the table. It's not there. But you would see that we will still get a result. So look at it carefully. You will see that the first person, for example, rightly earns 4,583 pounds, assuming it's in pounds. That's another thing, because we are not given the denomination in which these monetary values are in. But let's just assume they're in pounds. Right? So that's what we have. But you would see that in the table, each column has got an attribute name. But the one we have just introduced hasn't got any. It hasn't got any. So assuming you are to produce a report, would you produce this report to your manager in this manner?
Mm.
No.
No. Why?
Oh.
You introduce
This is like
us.
Pardon?
They won't know what the column is for.
They wouldn't know what the
Zero
column
six.
is for. They would think you are a proper amateur. They wouldn't know what the column is for. And that is where we introduce what is called aliases. And in my very first lesson with you, I mentioned that in SQL, we introduce aliases, and we will do that a lot. Now, so an alias, how many of us here have got nicknames? People would have nicknames, people would have pet names. I believe everybody has got either a nickname or a pet name. Right? I'm sure, especially the guys on the call. Is that true? Let me see if I can get some people.
Yes.
Some of them have started confessing already. Yeah, so we all have nicknames. And these nicknames, which are also known as what? Aliases, right? Okay, how do we introduce an alias in SQL? We use the word as. So we pick the same thing and pay value divided by 12 as monthly, we can call it monthly salary. Monthly salary. Okay, so now let's see when we run this, what is going to happen. If we were to run this now, what would happen? Now the column has got a name. It's a clearly defined attribute. Anybody seeing this will know that this is what? Monthly salary. But obviously, we do know that some of these things are not monthly salary. We do know, for example, that some are not monthly salary. We do know when we run the query, when we run this query, we see clearly that some are salary pay type, some are salary, some are hourly paid. Right? Some are salaries and some are hourly paid. So, and we cannot conveniently and confidently say that we are returning all of this. We are returning all of this output here as monthly salaries. No, that would be wrong. We wouldn't be able to say categorically that we are returning everything here in this result as a monthly salary. That would be very, very wrong. And so this is where the word that we have used in the past, which we haven't really looked into yet, but which I would use briefly here, comes into play. And we will look at that word in depth in a little while. So let's take this again. Let's take all of this again. And then let's bring in a role restriction. We only want the result to give us those roles where the salary or the pay value is a salary. Right? Let me run this again so we see which ones we are talking about. Okay, where the pay type is salaried pay. Pay type is salaried pay. So we run this again. And we put a restriction here, another clause here, where you see that we have introduced another bit of the select statement. The first two we said are mandatory. All the others are used as and when necessary. Remember our very first lesson. We have select from And now we have introduced another word, where pay type is equal salaried. Now, it is very important that this word is spelled correctly. So let's see, the word salaried here is very important it is spelled correctly. Though it is a user-defined word, it is important that it is spelled as is in the table. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any result produced. So it is not spelled as salary in the table. It is spelled as salaried. The pay type is salaried. It's a salaried type. Right? And if we run this, we will now get only that. The output will be for only those that are salaried pay. And you see, we only have 15 rows of that. Instead of the 327, we have 15 rows. So only 15 people in the organization are on salary. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned to you literals, the use of literals. So the salaried here is a literal word that has been introduced by the user. It's a user-defined word. Now, literals need to be spelled exactly as they are. That's what I said earlier on. So assuming we spelled this wrongly, assuming in your query, you go and write where pay type is equal to salary. Let's see if this will give us a result. We get no results because that word salary is not there in the table. Okay? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? All right, let me take this out. Okay, so let's see. Let's look at, now we go on to the where clause. We have already started using it, but this is just by the way. We're now going to look at it properly. Now, this is quite an important clause. It's the word where in SQL is quite very important, which is why time is usually devoted to studying it properly. Because like we have just seen, if not for this where clause that we used here, we wouldn't have been able to restrict the roles as to just giving us those values that are salaried values, right? We wouldn't be able to do that. But the where clause goes way beyond that. Now, basically, the where clause is used to restrict the roles produced in the select statement. That is the use of the where clause. It's used to restrict. The rules produced in, oh, why am I just switching between upper and lower case? Okay. Now, the where clause is followed by a search condition, as we already know on the very first day. We said the where clause is followed by a search condition. Who can tell us the search condition in the query that we just run? What is the search condition? What is the condition upon which the where clause is based?
That it will be people that are on salary basis.
Exactly, that the pay type should be salaried. The condition is that the pay type should be salaried pay type. Any other one should not be considered. Okay, so that's the search condition under that particular query. Now, there are 5 main search conditions under the where clause. Let's look at them one by one. The first one we will look at is called the comparison condition. The next one is the range condition. The third one is the membership condition. The next one is the pattern match condition. And the last one is the null condition. What do these mean? What do these mean? So when we say a comparison condition, how many of you here come from a mathematics background?
I did engineering.
I
You
did.
did engineering, beautiful. So you would have used the comparison condition many times.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me example of some of the comparison condition terms?
Talking about range, we can be considering
No, we are not. I'm not talking about range. I'm talking about comparison condition.
Greater than, equal to,
Equal
Yeah.
to,
less than.
equal to, greater than, less than.
Less than, more
less
than.
than and equal
Exactly. All these things we did in JSS1. Right? But that's the correct term for it. They are comparisons. They are comparing two or more things. Okay? So the comparison condition is simply where the value of an expression is compared to another. Where the value and expression is compared to another. Now, what about the range condition? How do you determine a range condition?
Between two variables.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Between two variables.
I like that. Between two variables. It tests whether a particular value falls within a certain range. Right? It tests whether a value falls within a certain range. Value. Okay. The next one is which one? Set membership. And this is a funny one. How many of us here know about sets? Some of us would have done sets in junior secondary schools.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let me see if I can show something. Let me see. I'm just gonna see something. Just give me 1 minute. I'm gonna check something. Come on. I'm trying to open up a browser. It's taking long. Okay.
I don't know. If I do the brother, you are not. I don't know. I'm a member.
Abby, please can you mute?
Abby, can you please mute?
Abby, can you mute, please? You are disturbing the whole class. Okay, so let's assume we have this. Then we have another one here. This, for example, is a set. And what does this mean? We can also have this as a set. Uh, 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 um. We can also have okay, so basically what I'm trying to demonstrate to you is to show you that, for example, if we have this, if we look at this section, if we look at this section, we see that this belongs to this section here belongs to this set. It belongs to this oval shape, and as well as this oval shape, right? So this section here is for both. Who knows what this is called?
Union.
And
Union.
and
Who said union?
Union.
No, it's not a union. It's an intersect.
intersection point.
It's an intersect. Yeah, it's not a union.
Intersection.
And this one is what? What about the second
Subset.
one? Eh?
That's a subset.
Okay, a subset. And what is a union?
I think union is when two sets intersects.
No, that's an intersect. When they intersect.
Union, you just need to combine two sets, but just
Exactly.
take
When
only
they are
one
fully when
intersect
they are
point.
fully
Oh,
combined.
you're right. You're right.
When they are fully combined, that's a union. Okay, so that's exactly the kind of situation we want to look at under sets membership. Okay, that's the exact kind of situation we want to look at under set membership. Right. So for set membership, we are saying that this test, it tests whether the value of an expression is equal to one or more of the set values, or falls within one or more of the set of the values within the set. Whether the value now, pattern match. What do you think that would be? Pattern match. Okay, this tests whether the value we are looking at matches a specified pattern. That's why it's called pattern match. And what will this one be? What is a null value? That is
Zero.
Pardon?
Zero.
Ah, 0. Somebody says 0.
No match.
What is it? Somebody
Empty.
says empty. So if it's empty, what is there?
Nothing.
Not blank, but
Not blank, but empty.
Zero.
Yeah?
I placeholder for something that is not empty.
Let me debunk that statement straight away. Null is not a placeholder. Not at all. Under no circumstance. Null is never a placeholder. Right. We will come to that. I'm not going to talk about that much on this occasion, but we will come to that. So null is simply an unknown value. Let me just explain that. Let me just say that for now. It's unknown. So null, somebody said 0. No, null is not 0. Null is not 0. 0 is 0. Null cannot be 0. It's a very deceptive concept. But if you think about it very well, especially for those who have done mathematics and are or will do mathematics, you would understand. Right. So now let's go to the first option. We finished these explanations. What are the comparison elements? We've already named them. We've already named the comparison conditions. And most of you have them. You actually got them. We have equal to, equal to, which is written as what? This, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm actually going through this. I know you know it because we are going to use the signs. So you need to know what the signs are. That's why I'm going through this. Not equal to. Because when you are writing in mathematical symbols, you don't use equal. You don't use the strings. You don't use the words as we are using now. You use the symbols. How is not equal to written? You can tell us?
exclamation mark and then equal to.
Okay. Is there any other option? Is there another option?
I think 2 equals to.
Pardon?
2 equals to.
2 equals to?
Yeah.
I don't think so. What's programming language are you talking about? Not equal to can also be written as this. Not equal to. And of course, we do know that one of the things we have just done is less than, which is written as what? And the other one,
greater than.
greater than. And we also have greater, less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. Which is what? Less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. And then finally, we have greater than or equal to. Is that cool? Okay, so let's see. You all have the AdventureWorks database, right? Have you all been given AdventureWorks database now?
Yes, we have been given it.
You have been given. So I'm going to go into that. Let's use a different database now, since you all have it in your SSMS. Assuming we want to select all. Okay, let me change data source. Let me change source.
Marital status.
Pardon? Who's talking? Who just spoke?
I did. So I thought you said you should give you one database to select from.
Pardon? So we are now in AdventureWorks, okay? I've moved from, and then you will see that all of these will throw errors. You see, all of them have thrown errors simply because we have changed the data, the source of our data. It doesn't mean these are wrong. It simply means that these here cannot be seen in this database, right? But if we change the database, then back to where these can be seen, then all the underlying things should be okay. So there is no error in this, okay? So no need to panic. If we execute this, we have that coming out. This is the output. But assuming we want to restrict our result, we want to, for example, just find out those things where the amount, for example, is, let's say, 200. Where amount is equal to 200. So this is where we have all those who have an amount of 200 showing up. Right, that's the amount here, 200. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Now let's
Yes, sir. I have
Yep.
a question.
go on.
Now that we've changed to another database, when saving and back
Your line is breaking.
saving.
Your line is breaking. When saving, that's what I heard last.
Okay.
I can't hear you now. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I can hear. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, you are better. It's better now.
Okay, I said when saving, we take it back to the former database we're using, that's the employee details. When saving this query, really affects the saving procedure.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. You've just saved your queries. You haven't done any change to the databases. You understand? There is no change to the databases. All you have done is to have queries written. So it's the queries you are saving, not the database.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's okay. So, given you've asked this question, let's go back straight away to back here, P elements. Oh no, let me see now. Let me take it from here. I'll take it from. So you see that now that I've changed back into the database we used previously, the red lines have gone under this, and then it's come under that one. These are from AdventureWorks. Because these ones are not in employee details, so these are underlined red. So there's no error. It's just a matter of a change of database. So if, for example, now we say, we used P elements the last time. So let's go back and write that. Let's go back and show that again. And this is what we had, right? But now, assuming we want to say that, we want to show where the pay value is, let's say, greater than something. Where pay value is, let's say, greater than, pay value is greater than, let's say, 30,000. Where pay value is greater than 30,000. Then if we run this, what are we going to have? We're going to have all those with pay value greater than 30,000. See that? That's what we have. 12 people. 12 people and greater than 30,000 in the organization. So you would see, for example, that in this particular case, the 30,000 is not inclusive of the result. But assuming we want to make it inclusive of the results, then what comparison element would we use? What comparison condition would we use?
Greater than or equal to.
Greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. Let's see if there's anything there that is equal to 30,000. Let's see. So the first one we had 12, right? Let's see we would get anything that is 30,000 there. Now we don't have anything 30,000. We don't have a 30,000 in the result. So let me change this figure slightly. Let me say, okay, let me make it 20,000 and see if we will get anything 20,000 there. This gives us 15 results greater than or equal to 20,000. Let me take out the equal to and see what we would have. Still 15. It means we don't have a 20,000. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do 31,500. I'm going to do 31,500. I just want to show you that if you choose the correct thing, you would have that it greater than or equal to 31,500. What does it give us? It gives us 7 rows, right? 31,500. It's inclusive. But if we just make it greater than 31,000, just greater than 31,500, then what would it return? 6. Do you see the difference? Is that okay? Is that okay? Now let's look at multiple comparison condition. Multiple, who knows what that would mean? Or compound comparison condition. Compound comparison. Compound comparison condition. This is where multiple conditions are used. Multiple, whatever it's compound comparison condition. Compound comparison where right, so the same thing, let's go back again and say, for example, that select, let's go back to AdventureWorks. Let's play with the databases, okay? Let's play with them. We want to select all from Fact Finance where the amount is less than amount is greater than, let's say, amount is greater than 300. The figures, they are quite big. 300,000, 300,805, or okay, let's first of all just display this. So we have amounts, we have a number of other attributes. Right, we have amounts, which we have just chosen to use. We have a number of other attributes upon which to also build a condition. So we're trying to have multiple conditions here. So one of the things, what I'm trying to achieve here is to show you that you can mix and match your conditions. Account key. Account key is less than 20. So I'm looking at these two, account key and amount. Account key and amount. I could have chosen any other ones, but for now I'm just looking at these. So select everything from fact find where amount is greater than 300,800 and account key is less than 20. So if we run this, what do we have? If there is something like that, it should display. Yep, it does display. You would see here that the amount displayed in all the outputs here is greater than 300,800. 300,800. Everything here is greater than that. And the account key is less than 20. Account key is less than 20 for all the outputs. Account key is less than 20. So instead of the and, we could just as well also have used or. I believe we know the difference between and or when it comes to mathematical manipulations and by inference, writing code. What does it mean?
For and, both condition has to be true, while for or, only one condition needs to be true.
Yeah, you're right. For and, both conditions will have to be true. And for or, only one condition needs to be true. You're right. So you see, student, the first one, how many rows did we have? I think we have 500 and something, 504. And this one is giving us over 3,000. So in the case where only one of the conditions needs to be true, you see that the output is way, way, way bigger than the one where both have to be true. Is that making sense?
Yes, please.
Good. Now let's go to the next type. The next type we spoke about is the range condition, right? So we've looked at a variety of comparison conditions. We've seen the comparison matrices that we can use, but we've seen the options. We can mix and match all of these. Next one is the range condition. Let's see how we can do that and what words are necessary here. So for the range condition, the keywords are between and not between. Between and not between. So something has to be between two other things or it is not between them. These are the words. Let's still stick with the AdventureWorks database, which we have. So we're looking at everything under fact finance, where amount, the amount we are looking for between, let's say, 750,000 and 1 million. So this is a range. What we are looking for should be between this range. And you see that the amounts in the output would always be between that range. The inverse of that is not between. And that gives us everything that is not within that range. And you see, we have quite a huge number, 39,200 and something. Yeah. Any question?
None
So
for me.
that is simply the range condition. Any question?
None for me, sir.
Thank you. Set membership condition. The keywords for this: in, not in. So it's either something is in something or it's not in it. Okay? Let me see if I gave you, did I give you this database? Did I give you? Did I give you marital status database? Check what you have. Did I
Under
give,
employee
sir.
details.
yeah,
we
did
have
I
it.
give you that?
Yes,
sir, we
sir.
have it.
Okay. Right, so we can use that in this for this. We can use that for this. So let's change our source of our table. Let's change our database. And let's say we select all. What did we call it? Marital status. Select all from marital status. Now, if you look under marital status attributes, if you look under the marital status attribute, you would see that some people are married, some are separated, some are divorced, some are cohabiting, some are single, right? You see, some are widowed. You see all those things there. So we can group all of these people into different, we can put them into different groups. So a set is a group. A set is a group. So it's either somebody belongs to the group or they don't belong to it. Is that making sense? So it's either somebody is in a group or the person is not in a group. All right? So if, for example, we have this again, and we want to restrict our output to show only those who are married, then what do we do? Where marital status you know why this is happening? In So we're looking at only those who are married within the marital status table. Only those who are married. And you see that the output returns all those who are married. Okay. We can again here have compound condition. Where we have two or more of the conditions together. Married and cohabiting. Cohabiting. Is it cohabit? Habiting, cohabiting. Who knows why this produces no results? Under
Sir,
cohabiting?
because they are double T in the cohabiting. The spelling of the cohabiting, double T.
Okay. Good catch. Right, so that's what we have. Now let's go to AdventureWorks. Let's see another example under AdventureWorks. If we were to select all, from, let's say, deep geography, what do we have? This is what we have under deep geography, right? So assuming we want to find under deep geography, we want to find all those who have got state province name as Ontario or Queensland or South Australia. We can easily find that. State province name in, let's say, Ontario. And you see, it only gives us those people, those from Ontario. And just like the first one, we can mix them up. So we have both Ontario and New South Wales. Where the state province name is Ontario and New South Wales. Any question?
No, sir.
Beautiful. The keywords for this are like and not like. Like and not like. Now this is going to take quite a while because it involves quite a bit. And the characters used for the pattern match character. We use this. And then we use that. Underscore. The modulus and the underscore. And they are called wildcards. Wildcards. Modulus. Who knows what a modulus is?
More like division plus reminder.
Okay. Underscore. Now, so what are the instances? Like I said, this is going to take quite a while. Usually I teach this one for like this bit for like almost a full lecture. But I'll see how we'll go with that. I think we can do it quite fast. Instances of the wildcard. Instances of the wildcard. Right, so I'm going to use here or before I go into that, let me just say something. So who understands when we say a wildcard? The wildcard, what does it mean? What do you understand that to be?
Wildcard is somebody that is introduced or something that is introduced into a group that it doesn't belong to initially.
Okay, what is the purpose of it?
What? To make it more interesting or to disrupt.
To make it more interesting or to disrupt?
Yeah.
I like that. I actually do like that. I like that. To make it more interesting or to disrupt. Okay. You have an idea. But I'm talking now, I know where you're going. Wildcard usually used in terms of sports, right? But I'm talking about wildcards in terms of programming.
I think wildcard means
Pardon?
wildcard means when you have many options and you just want to, and a pool of in a pool of sets, something that's similar to that set. That's where you want to.
Yeah, you have a very good idea. You have an idea. Yeah, that's true. So in a pool where you want something that is similar to what that thing is like, that's where you use the wildcard. So let's assume I'll use it for something that has got addresses. Assuming you are looking for somebody in the UK or in Nigeria, you are looking for Adetokunbo, Adeyemi, Adewale, and you only know part of that person's address. What do you do? How do you find that person? Given you don't know that person's full address. Or even given probably you don't even know the person's full name. What do? You can now start narrowing down your search to look for things that look like everything that has got a semblance or a similarity to that thing that you are looking for. You use the wildcard to pull that out. And you start narrowing down your search from that place. Right? So let me give you a number of instances. Let's say I use address. And I want addresses like let me use this so you get a difference. Addresses like you see a difference here. Are we getting somewhere? Let's explain these first. What do these mean? Oops. What's happened? Okay. What does this mean? Who knows what this means? Now, this simply means that the first character of that address you are looking for. Remember when I started earlier on, I said, assuming you are looking for somebody and you know part of their address, but you don't know the full thing. You know a bit of it. So in this particular instance, we are saying that that address must start with an H. The rest can be anything. So this means that the first character of the address must be H. The rest can be anything. Does that make sense? And straight away you see that the rest can, straight away you see that the rest are quite self-explanatory. Right? And this one, what do you think this one means? What do you think this one here means? This means the first character. What does this mean?
The last character.
The last
of the
character.
digit.
The last character. Okay, what do you think this one means?
The address must contain Lagos.
The first
Pardon?
The address must contain Lagos in it.
The address must contain Lagos.
Yeah. So,
Yep,
I have a question.
go on.
The way you wrote this percentage Lagos, like talking
It's
about,
called modulus.
yes, the modulus. Can we do it exactly this way with letter H, or you put the modulus before and in front
I
and
don't understand
beside
your question.
H? Okay, I meant the modulus sign we just kept for Lagos, like we kept the modulus Lagos and modulus. Can we do the same thing for
Exactly.
these
You can do.
addresses like
You can
H?
do it. Yeah, exactly. I'm only using these are just examples. These are
Okay.
just examples. You understand? They are just examples.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
So then, in much the same way, you would see the inverse of what we have written in the last three. This one must address not like, the first character must not have an H. Is that clear? This one not like H. The first character must not have an H. The last character here must not have an H. The address must not contain Lagos. That's what these other three mean. So if I just copy this and paste and amend and adjust a bit. Means first character must not be first character of address must not be must not be H. Let me just take these ones out. And this one means what? The last character must not be H. The last character must not be H. And this one means address must not contain Lagos. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? And I must inform you that this particular bit of SQL that we have just studied is actually quite very, very important, especially for searches. It's used quite a lot by security services. It's one of the tools that they use to look for people, look for things, and not just security services. Even these people, credit agencies use it a lot. So these are some of the tools that they use to search for people and search for things. Right. So we've talked about the instances of the modulus. Now let's talk about the instances of the underscore. Five. What did we give the underscore any instances of the wildcard? Okay, so we just call this 5.4. What can I call this? 5.5. Okay, let me call it 5.5. Instances of the underscore. Instances of the underscore. We can have something like we use H, right? Oops. Now, you see what I've just done. Technically, this is incorrect. I've only done this to aid visibility so that you see exactly what I'm doing. Now, my intention here is this. And let me straight away explain what this means. So when I have this written here, I'm saying that addresses like this. So the first character must start with an H, and there must be how many characters after the H? 1, 2, 3, 4. The first character must be an H, and there must be 4 characters after the H. But you see that I've left spaces. Computers read spaces differently. They will count those spaces as well. So this is technically incorrect. I've only done this to enable you to see it properly. As H, then another character, another. So ideally, I should have done that. But if I were to do this, you wouldn't know the number of characters here, would you? You wouldn't know. And which is why I have intentionally done that. So what this means is that the first character five characters altogether. Is that cool? In much the same way, if we were to write that, I think you know where I'm going with this, right? How many characters are in this? How many characters do I intend to be in this? Come on, somebody talk to me.
6.
6. 6 characters. Is that clear? So, for example, let's go to let's go back to our database and apply what we have just learned in our databases. We are still in AdventureWorks, right? So select everything. From, let's say, dim geography. Dim geography. Where? Okay, let's first look at this first, and then let's first look at this. So this gives us everything under dim geography. And what do we want to look for? Or what do we want to show? Let's say English country region name. Let's look for something here. Where English country region name? English country region name like modulus Canada. Modulus. Okay. And let's run this and see what we got. So we want to look for those places where Canada is part of the name. And look at that. We have English country. This is the field we chose. We have Canada come up here. Assuming we just wrote that, let's assume we just wrote this. Will it still produce a result? Let's see. Yes, it still produced the exact same result. So long as this CAN, which is in Canada, is part of the name under the search field, it would yield a result. And that's how the agencies have been using to track a lot of people. So long as a part of your address or your name, even your name, can be put into a database and a search run on it, yep, it will yield a result. Any questions so far?
So, but when we use the salary, we got a different result.
Of course, you will. Did we have the wildcard for salary? We didn't have the wildcard for salary. So assuming we even just took the wildcard out of this, it wouldn't give us a result.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question? Let's do the yep, go on.
I want to ask another question. When do we use, can we use the AND statement with this like statement?
You want to apply a compound, you want to use and like.
Yes, is it possible?
Yeah, so it depends on you can do anything, depends on how you write your query. If your query is properly written, you can. Yes,
I tried something just now. I did using this query. Then I said and not like. I choose another country, but then it was error.
Okay. So you're going like 3 steps ahead of us. So just take your time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think I know what you are doing. So you are doing a compound kind of query. Right. So let's quickly do this other one. The underscore. So we've seen how we can use the modulus. We've seen how we can use the modulus. Let's now see how we can use the underscore. So the same thing, let's select again this. Again, let's see what we can probably use. We can, for example, use state province name here like this. Yep, we can do that. So let's say we have right. So where state province, where state province name like now. Count the number of spaces. Okay, let me do it. Let me do it like I did it the first time, so you see exactly what I'm trying to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's assume 4, right? And let's close the gap. So I'm expecting to have what? 5 characters in the word, right? But if I run this, nothing will come up because these spaces are not, will be counted. We can't, okay, let's run it and see what would happen. It provides no result. But it doesn't mean it's a wrong query. It's not. It's just that we have represented it wrongly. Like I said, when we are writing the query itself, we don't need to leave these gaps. We need to close them so the word is properly formed. But you and I know that we've put 4 underscores there. So like I explained earlier on, I only put the spaces there to make it clearer for visibility. Right? So if we run this query now, and in this query says that the state province name must start with a Q, right? And there must be how many characters? 5. Okay, so there's nothing like 5. Let's say we make it 6. Let's see if we make it 6. Oops. Let's make it 6 and see if that would give us a result. That didn't give us a result. Okay, so now let's do this and see. Let's just run this and see whether under state province name we have a Q at all. We have anything starting with a Q. State province name, that is this field. Let's see if we have anything at all starting with a Q. Oh, we have Queensland. Okay. So do you see why it's not coming out? Can somebody tell us why?
Because the state province name that is starting with the Q is more than the underscored we kept there. The
All right,
underscore
so
them symbol
this
we
one
kept
is
there.
how many characters? Let's see. So let me delete it first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 characters altogether. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It should have at least produced this one. It should have at least given us 𝐂𝐓. So why did that not come? Okay, let's do it again. 1, 2. Oh no, it's actually, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Let's run it and see if that would come out. Yep. So maybe we put 6 there earlier on. So you see, it left Queensland. It's given. So the only downside of this, of the underscore, is that this, like it reads, where state province name, in this, the first character must be Q and must have 6 characters altogether. Must have 6 characters altogether. Assuming instead of just this, we had put the ampersand, we had put the modulus, like we did there. Assuming we had put the modulus, it would have come out with not just 𝐂𝐓, it would have also come out with what? With what is it called? With Queensland. It would have come out with Queensland. So see the difference between the two. So that's Queensland and 𝐂𝐓. Do you get that? Queensland, 𝐂𝐓. So this is a more flexible way of carrying out the search, the pattern search. The modulus is a more flexible way of carrying out the pattern search. With the underscore, you must necessarily meet the criteria of the search. But the modulus gives you freedom. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? No questions? Okay, now let's go to our stranger. And I call it stranger because it's quite a weird concept, I must confess. But once you understand it, it's cool. And the words for this is what? It's null and is not null. Okay. Let's remain in AdventureWorks. So assuming we select all from the employee. Assuming we select all from this. We get that, right? It's quite a long table. So let's just do attribute restriction. Let's select a few attributes to display. So assuming we select title, is there title at all? Yeah, there's title. Assuming we select first name, last name, middle name, or first name and last name. First name and last name. From dim employee. Now look carefully where middle name is equal to what does this mean? Somebody earlier on said null means empty. So this is actually an empty space, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So if this is an empty space and null means empty, then this should work if there is one that has got an empty space. I doubt if there is one that has got an empty space though. But let's just run this query and see what happens. It doesn't produce anything. It doesn't give us anything. Let me return to that. Oh no, instead of this, let me go back here. So this doesn't work simply because empty and null are not the same things. Empty is not equal to null. Okay? Also, if we were to write this, if we were to write this as that, You see that there is null there, where middle name is equal to null. Let's see if this would work. This also doesn't work. Why does it not work? Why does it not work?
The middle name is not selected.
Pardon?
I guess since we didn't select the middle name, we must select.
No. That's not why it doesn't work. That's not at all why it doesn't work. Who knows why it doesn't work? We've seen clearly that the middle name has got null values. So why is it that when we equate the middle name to null, it doesn't work?
I think it's because you are meant to use an is.
Is it because I've told you earlier on that you are saying that?
No.
Is it because you know it's here?
I didn't see that there.
Oh, come on. That's one of the things I mentioned before we got here. Right. So yes, because we meant to write it properly. This is not the way it is represented. But what I want you to understand clearly is that we have a middle name. We have something here called middle name, and we are equating it to null. And this is what I want you to get. Remember, somebody said null is empty. Another person said null is 0. And I said both are wrong. What did I say? Who remembers what exactly I said? I said null is something we don't know. Null is an unknown. So you can't say middle name you are equating it to null because you don't know it. It's not known. So when you make that equation, because you are saying that middle name is equal to null, this is an equation. This is equality. Right? It breaks that rule. And though there is null here, you cannot make that equation. Because null is simply an unknown. Right. So this also will not work. So that is why it is represented as what? And let's see if this would work. Yep, that has worked. Do you get that? That has worked. In much the same way, we can say middle name is not null. And then it will produce all the other ones. It's not null. And this will produce all the others. All right. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? I think we'll bring the lesson to a close here to prevent information overload. Okay, so you can stop the recording, whoever is recording.